welcome back. SK Forge here. Today we're going to be restoring this post vise. Now this one's seen so many places because clearly it's in probably the worst shape possible. And the threads do not work the best that they should. So let's get started. The guy I got this from said it was a Colombian post vise. And even though there are no defining factors that it's a Colombian post vise, I'm happy to restore it. Anyways, the best way to start about fixing up a post vise like this is taking it all apart to clean up all the pieces. When I looked at the threads on this, they looked to be pretty decent, and so I just figured that it was the spring that made it so that they would not open and shut. I don't even actually know why half of it looked like this. It had this weird rectangular piping around the bolt, and I literally have no idea why that's there. But I'm not complaining with the price. Okay. The bolt was not willing to come out even with a heavy hammer hitting it, so I decided to let WD-40 soak into the cracks to loosen it up a bit. And to my surprise, it worked really well. Yep. If you have any guesses for what happened to this leg, put it in the comments. I wasn't totally sure what to do with this random piece of metal on the leg, so I just decided to cut it down the middle. There was so much gunk stuck to the inside of this post vise that I ended up using a pry bar and a hammer just to get it loose. Anyways, now we're to the fun part where we get a wire wheel all clean. If you know what this means, the 2 here, or the 1.5 there, or the 4 underneath the jaw here, tell me in the comments too. We're back outside of the forge, and we're looking at this mounting plate bracket thing, and it's a bit skiwampus, so we're going to forge that back to shape to make it fit nicer. I put in the retainer to see how well it fit, and it fit nicely, so I put that aside and work on the leg of the post vise. Not every day you put something this crazy inside your forge, so I was really worried to see how this would turn out. The next issue that there was on this post vise was it was missing a wedge for the retainer that holds all the mounting stuff, so I had to forge that out. The thread for the bolt was so filled with gunk, so after a good wire wheeling, the bolt fits on beautifully. Now you haven't seen all the smaller pieces getting cleaned, but it's pretty boring too, and that's just my excuse for forgetting to record. It's finally done, and I hooked it up to this shady looking fixture. I know it looks horrifying, but it's surprisingly not very sturdy, so. The biggest issue with this is the jaw wobble, and that's not bad at all. Now you notice I'm still missing a few washers, I totally know that, but I wasn't able to make them myself, and so yeah. The opposing jaw on this clip is stationary, by the way. That's kind of how bad it is. But it exceeded my expectations for the jaw opening and closing. The way I received it, it looked horrifyingly incapable to be doing these things. The spring works awesome, and I'm stoked to have it for only 75 bucks too. And it secures things beautifully, more than my tiny little 3-inch vise could ever handle. It managed to break a piece of hickory with a hammer before it fell out of the jaw. Now, of course, I'm going to replace this stand with something more substantial and strong, because this clearly is not going to work. I decided to give it a little test to see how well it could handle the force of a cutting disc against steel, and there was like no slippage whatsoever. So I decided to test on a few more things, very interesting things. Have you ever seen a post vise holding another post vise? Well, you probably have. So have you ever seen post vise holding a little post vise holding another vise? I personally don't think it was the most useful way to hold things in a vise, so I decided to take it all apart. Don't try this at home. But anyway, here's some final clips of what I restored today. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, like, share it with your friends if you feel like it.